Americans love food, all types of food. All you can eat food, food on top of other food, food inside of food, even food that is made to look like other foods. If we are what we eat, Americans are salty, sweet, bitter, empty calories of joy. But where does all that food come from? Yes, the supermarket. But where does the supermarket get food from? Farms? Sorta. It's actually a different market, the commodities market. A century ago, lots of Americans used to work in farming or the many parts of the rural economy connected to farming. So we understood where our food came from, but something happened. That something may have been Earl Rusty Butz. Yes, that's a real person's name, and that's what he liked to be called. Rusty Butz was the Secretary of Agriculture under President Nixon and President Ford in the 1970s, and he was as responsible as any single person for the decline of the family farm and rise of agribusiness. Butz used agricultural policy to tell farmers to get big or get out, and transform the whole food system in America. Today, the food conglomerate Cargill is the largest privately owned company in the world. Tyson, which focuses on chicken, was number 80 on the 2018 Fortune 500 list. ADM is a $64 billion company. It's not just that Butz wanted farms to be big, he also encouraged monocropping, which are expansive fields of the same crop as far as you can see. This indirectly encouraged more processed foods, as scientists figured out a use for all that cheap corn by turning it into high fructose corn syrup and other processed food ingredients. Oh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. And here's a few more fun facts about Rusty Butz. He hated organic food, way before it was even cool to like organic food. And he was fired from the Ford administration for one of the most vile comments you'll ever hear. Just Google it. I'm not saying it. I'll wait. The rise of agribusiness was part of how Americans lost touch with where food comes from, and it has at least two terrible outcomes. It has been brutal economically to the actual people who grow, pick, and harvest our food, and it has created a distributional problem where even though we make more food than ever, millions of people struggle with hunger and food insecurity every single day. Commodities, corn, wheat, soybeans, and others are basically getting the same price they got in the 1970s. That means with inflation, the actual value of the commodities that farmers grow has gone way down over the last 4 decades, while the cost of everything has gone up. And in 2017, the average full-time white farmer brought in $17,190 in farm income. That sounds tough until you hear that the average full-time black farmer that same year made just $2,408. So farming is hard no matter what color you are, but of course, racism makes hard things harder. Almost half of the workers who work in growing, picking, and harvesting our food aren't documented. They have no workplace protections, wage security, or job safety. And even though America is the world's #1 food exporter, more than 37 million people in the U.S. struggle with hunger. It's like what my favorite French lawyer who I just Googled said in 1826. The future of nations will depend on the manner of how they feed themselves. That's true. What does that mean for our future?